Hello everyone and welcome to this video which is in our Engine Snack series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and we're taking a look at a game between Stockfish and Komodo Dragon in the TCEC Season 22 Super Final, Game 26. Well, there have been a lot of great wins in the Super Final, but I thought I'd also try and take a look at some of the draws because there also the content has been absolutely fantastic. This was an interesting opening, a Scandinavian, and it featured a new idea on move 9, 9A3, and this was recommended by Justin Tan in his 1E4 Chess Bible, and it got a good first outing in human play. So yeah, was quite intrigued to see how the engines would play it. Reaching this position, it looks like White's done rather better. I mean, Black's got two knights against the two bishops, so that's an advantage for White. I mean, the main Black problem though is the king on E8. It's not going to castle kingside with well, everything pointing towards the G6 pawn. But yeah, I mean, even if it goes to the queen side, well, these pawns on C6 and B5 are a bit exposed. We've got a lovely square on C5 for the knight. White could also organise a break like C4 to break open the queen side. So the black king isn't safe anywhere. And I mean, the risk of those positions is that if you just sort of hang around and wait around a little bit, you can sort of blink and find yourself 20 moves later, and White's got lots of improvements to its position and Black's position still looks basically the same and a bit ropey. So what the engines are really good at is even in these non-concrete looking positions, finding concrete ways of playing that force action, force the opponent to take action maybe before the opponent's completely ready, and resolve a position to some sort of equality. And Komodo does this quite beautifully in this game. So played B4 to start with. A4, and this looks a little bit odd maybe. I mean, we're giving away a nice square on C4 for a white piece, a bishop or a knight, but there are threats of knight C3 and B3, and those threats against White's king just keeps White's knight a little bit honest. It can't venture too far, or something like knight C3 or B3 will come in. So bishop D6 played, and now bishop C4 occupying this square, and queen F6. And it was here somehow that, Komodo's idea became visible and Stockfish's evaluation dropped quite sharply from, I think it was climbing above +1, and now it suddenly started going the other way. Obviously, exchange of queens, that's what Black wants. If the queens come off, this king in the centre doesn't matter anymore. So Stockfish kept the queens on with queen G2. And now Black played king D7. And we've still got, lots of threats. The rooks are connected now, so we could even maybe double on the b file, get something with knight c3. We've also got ideas like knight f4, maybe to exchange off some pieces. The key thing, however, was this move bishop g5, which at first sight seems to be a little bit awkward. If you go queen g7, I go queen f3. And I mean, this queen's not really great on g7, and well, queen's attacking f7 here, might even be able to think about coming over to the queen side. A little bit awkward for Black, but Komodo had a very concrete idea here, and that's queen f5, which looks suicidal. But after bishop d3, trapping the black queen, Komodo had seen this idea, knight f4, forking the queen and the bishop. And well, what this leads to is an ending, and then the key question is, how is this ending? And well, this was what Komodo had judged really well. So we get all these counter hits, all these desperados, Black taking a pawn before taking the bishop, and then bishop takes f7, and now knight f3, and well, White's the pawn up with two bishops. Black's knight is very active, and well, the pieces are sort of hanging a little bit. This bishop's a bit exposed, this rook and bishop are forked, so not 100% easy. Actually, it looks like Black might even be winning a piece here, with the attack on the rook on h1 and this fork. But there's this lovely move bishop f6, which again counter strikes against the rook on h8. Now after rook h1, bishop e7. The idea is bishop e7, I go king e7. I'm attacking the bishop and also attacking the pawn on d4. A move like rook h7 allows knight g5. Haha. So bishop g7 played, and the tactics keep on coming. Knight g5. You can't play bishop g6 here because rook g8 pins these two bishops. So bishop h5 played, knight e4. We're hitting the pawn on f2, and rook e1. And this is kind of getting absolutely crucial now. I mean, knight f2, we've got bishop f7, and this pawn on e6 is hanging. So rook g8 hits the bishop. Obviously, we're going for an opposite-coloured bishop ending here, which shouldn't be too bad. There's a bit of pressure on the e6 pawn, but we can hold it, and you know, this should be okay for black. But bishop e5 was played, and actually this seems to be just a little bit awkward, because if you take on f2 here, there's this lovely little sequence: bishop f7, rook g4, and then bishop b8, and we're hitting e6 and we're hitting a7 as well. And this is going to be a white advantage. I mean, white's going to win a pawn, going to have the two bishops, might grovel to a draw maybe with black, but it's going to be a bit tricky. But Komodo had prepared, and very long time before, this lovely idea of playing b3. b3, I blinked when I saw that. What on earth was this about? Well, first obvious point is rook e4, rook g1 mate. That's quite gorgeous. The other idea is that if you take on b3, now I take on f2, because after bishop f7 I've got this lovely in-between move, knight d3. I mean, it's just been full of in-between moves, you know, not defending something but hitting something else in return. And you know, the idea is if you attack me with rook e3, I go rook g1 check. And actually the very difficult thing for human players to see after rook d1 attacking the knight like this looks like going to be a bit crucial. You know, I mean, I'm hitting a knight and a rook. You just go back to f2, and there's no way you can take advantage of that. If you go rook f1, I just go rook to g2. And you know, this position, I mean, white is a pawn up, but we've even got ideas of knight d3. You know, I mean, b3 has cleared open the second rank very nicely. So, you know, this is really an excellent resource. So, well, in the game, bishop f4 was played, and we got takes, and knight d6. And yeah, you know, to human players, these you know, there's so many of these positions that the engines play where they're you know, a pawn down and it doesn't seem to make any difference, and you sort of wonder why as a human. But yeah, you know, this position is one such position where you know, black being a pawn down doesn't really matter. I mean, the problem is that there are so many white weaknesses, and you know, we can come with knight f5, bishop f6 to attack this one, rook to b8 maybe to attack b2, or rook to f8 as well to attack f2. You know, there's a lot to keep white busy, and well, if you can keep on playing accurately for long periods of time, then you probably won't have a problem. And well, would you believe it, that's just what engines can do. And Komodo managed to draw this one without too many problems. But a really beautiful game, I thought. I was really impressed by Komodo's play. You know, watching it live, you know, you live with all the ups and downs, and obviously, you know, you look at the engine evaluations as well, and you look at their variations, and you sort of, you know, you sort of have a feel for the course of the game. And here, you know, this really felt like, you know, around this stage that Stockfish was going to really make something of this. But this beautiful tactical sequence that Komodo had seen way in advance, and you know, the key move at the end really to really make it equal, this move b3, you know, is quite exceptional from Komodo. Wonderful stuff.